Hello, my name is Caroline Rhodes, and I am a physiotherapist. I have a practice in Hong Kong, the Body Group, and I'm also an EFT trainer and a matrix re-imprinting master trainer. And matrix re-imprinting is an advanced form of EFT. And the purpose of this video is to show you the tapping points. I find a lot of the time when we do tapping or EFT tapping, a lot of people do shortcuts, and I actually like to do the original version. I like to make sure that I get all the different points, and the reason for that is I find that it's actually quite effective, and each one of the points represents many different emotions that we're clearing. So this isn't the first thing that we're going to do in EFT is we're going to tap on what's called the karate chop point. It's on that fleshy part of your hand, and you can tap on either side, and you can even tap both of them at the same time. And what we do in the setup statement, what we do here is we focus on what our problem is, and then we're going to put in an affirmation. So an example would be, let's say we have the fear of public speaking, and I would tap on this thinking what the emotion is and really pull up that emotion. Even though I'm absolutely terrified of public speaking, we're going to add an affirmation. I choose to be calm and relaxed. Even though I'm terrified of public speaking, I choose to be calm and relaxed. Even though I'm absolutely terrified to get in front of a group of people and speak to them, I accept I have this problem, and I love and accept myself just the way I am. So what I did was I said our problem 3 times, finished with an affirmation. The reason we do this in the setup statement is EFT is an energy medicine technique. It's acupuncture without needles while we focus on a negative emotion or anything that is not working for us. It can be used for pain, fears, phobias, cravings, addictions. So when we do this 3 times, that means it's going to make sure our energy is moving in the right direction. We're kind of like a battery. So if you're doing energy medicine, if your energy is not flowing in the right direction, the treatment's not going to be as effective. So the purpose of doing the setup statement is to make sure that the energy is going in the right direction. Now after that, we're going to tap on all the other points, and when we tap on these points again, we're going to focus on our problem. So each point, it doesn't matter actually what order you go in, but I like to start from top and I go down to bottom. It doesn't matter if I do left side or right side, and I can actually do both at the same time. So the first one's on the top of the head, so I can do it like that, or I can just do one. Doesn't matter what side, what hand. Each point is about 7 taps. And it's also 1 inhalation and 1 exhalation. So when you need to really say your problem out loud. It helps you to focus on it. So if I said terrified of public speaking, by the time I've said it, I've got 1 inhalation and 1 exhalation, because when you speak, you have to breathe. And I've also gotten 7 taps in, because it's just too much to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, fear of public speaking. So we just do it, we just combine it all. Now the next point is on the inner corner of the eyebrow, the fear of public speaking. Side of the eye, right on the bone, under the eye. So if you take your pupil, draw a line down, it's right there. And under the nose, the fear of public speaking, on the chin. Now the next one's on the collarbone. So this is our collarbone, and it's actually, if I go like that, see that little depression? I like to just open my hand and go under the collarbone and tap the fear of public speaking. The next one is on the, what we call the anatomical nipple line. So it's right here. For women, it's about where your bra strap is. Fear of public speaking. Inside of the wrist. Fear of public speaking. And now we're going to do all the finger points. So the best way I can describe this is if your palm is facing down and your thumb is pointing towards you, you're actually going to tap on the inner corner of the nail bed that's the closest to you. Fear of public speaking, fear of public speaking, each one of these points, right? All right. Now what we'll do is what's called the 9 gamut. So the 9 gamut is between the ring finger and the little finger, and you're going to massage that space, that web space. And while you're massaging on it, or if you want, you can tap on it, you're going to close your eyes, open your eyes. With your eyes and not keeping your head still, you're going to look in a diagonal, down in one direction, come back to midline, down in the opposite direction, come back to midline. Make a big circle in one direction with your eyes, other direction, and you're just thinking about your problem. You don't have to say it. Okay, and then you're going to hum and then count. And hum, we usually say, let's hum Happy Birthday. Everybody knows that song. Count to 9 fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll hum again. Now we're going to do the sequence again. So we're going back to the top of the head, inner corner of the eyebrow, side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, on the chin, collarbone, the sphere of public speaking, terrified to speak in front of everybody. And we're just going to keep tapping on those till we get to the little finger. And I usually like to finish with an affirmation. I deeply and completely love and accept myself just the way I am. Okay? So those are the tapping points, and if you have any questions, you can just write any comments below and I will get back to you. Oh, let me explain why I like to do the 9 gamut. A lot of people leave this one out. The 9 gamut is that funny one where you're rubbing between your ring finger and your little finger. It looks weird, and I tell people I know it looks weird, but it works. In Chinese medicine, we have 3 energy points through the body, and what this does is it opens up triple warmer. It's called triple warmer, so it opens up those points. And then while we've got that open, when we move our eyes start clearing this information of where we might be storing why we have this problem, even though we're not aware of it. And if I'll give you an example of how effective this is, and how our eyes we use our eyes when we're recalling information. So if I asked you a question like, what's the name of the street you were living on when you were 10? You might kind of like look in one direction and then say, oh, it was Las Positas Street. So what happens is when we're trying to recall information, our eyes will always go to that part of the brain where we store it. So I really like doing the 9 gamut with the eye movements, because we're clearing stuff even though we don't know exactly what that why we're holding on to this emotion that's not working for us. And when we hum and we count, it clears it from our analytical brain and our creative brain. So I like to do the whole sequence. I find that actually a lot of people shift when they do this 9 gamut procedure, so I don't like to leave that out. So if you've got any questions, you can just write them down below. And that's the basic tapping points that I like to use in EFT.